And a look at the St. Johns River in Jacksonville, Florida, home of the purple and gold in the Jacksonville Kings. They will welcome in the Carolina Skyhawks here in Week 6 of the Simulation Football League. Welcome to sunny Florida, ladies and gentlemen. On the SFL Twitch page, my name is Eric Vincent. Alongside me is Steven Hacker. We've got Dwayne Schindler and Justin Reside in the stats truck this afternoon. And Steven, this is going to be a good game here, I think. Both these teams, especially Jacksonville, trying to rebuild. Carolina has had some tough losses, including one last week in the last seconds.
Yeah, both of these teams definitely got the some experience in the loss column this season, but slowly piecing together as the season has progressed. Both teams in the middle of the pack when it comes to points per game, but near the front in passing yards a game. Carolina coming in averaging 289 yards a game, good for 10th, and Jacksonville throwing it for 332 yards a game, good for 4th in the SFL. So both of these teams not afraid to air it out. Both teams are also really good on third downs. Carolina averaging coming in at 53% on third downs, good for 8th, and Jacksonville at 59%, good for 3rd in the SFL. So I expect both of these teams to try to use the air to convert a third down and get keep their offense on the field here, Eric.
Yeah, both these teams ranking towards the bottom of the league in rush yards per game. Jacksonville the very bottom and Carolina next to the bottom, averaging under 75 yards a game, both of them. So it's definitely going to be a passing attack here in Duval County today. And we've got to pick them as far as the odds go, according to Jack's data. And it's going to be a great game. Jacksonville coming out in the all-purple, Carolina coming out in the all-white. The Kings will receive the opening kickoff as Whistle Jones gets us underway here in Jacksonville. Fielded from about his own goal line. Jacksonville is going to bring it out to the 23-yard line, and that is where we will see the Kings take over on offense, led by Season 14 champion with the Atlanta Swarm, Mr. Marcus Dunhill.
Yeah, Marcus Dunhill, 6'5", 215 pounds, wearing number 15 on the field in the purple and gold. This will be his 5th season in the SFL. Look for him to spearhead this offense and lead the charge.
Coming on a heavy set to start things off. Dunhill's going to throw, going to swing it out to his running back, Jared Willis. Good open field tackle on the play by Tristan Hatley. Results in a gain of 4. We'll get a look at the stars for the Kings on offense. Marcus Dunhill at quarterback. Jared Willis, the running back. We just saw him. Grayson Willis, Kingston Ellington, the former DC Dragon, and Shea Carroll are the wide receivers. Jack Wall and Talon Steele, the tight ends. And all rookies on the offensive line. Brian French, Robert Crone, Alden, and Olivia Bleeker. 2nd and 6, pitch play to Willis, who gets buried in the backfield as Kane Vasquez comes up on run support there, brings up a 3rd and long.
Yeah, great job by the safety to come up and fill the gap there on the outside and stop that play in the backfield, exactly what Carolina needed.
Dunhill in the empty this time around, trips towards the bottom of the formation. Takes the snap, has time, going to fire it quickly down towards the near sideline. Caught behind the defense is Grayson Willis. He's got Carolina Skyhawks in pursuit, but no one's going to catch him. Touchdown, Kings.
Grayson Willis, it must be the shoes, boot scooting, boogieing down the field. A 3rd and long for the Jacksonville Kings, and Dunhill connects with Willis for the huge score for the Kings.
And all it took was 3 plays to go all the way down the field. It was looking like it was going to be a stagnant drive for Jacksonville out the gate, but then Marcus Dunhill just shows off the laser cannon arm he's got, and Grayson Willis, the recipient there. Easy score for Jacksonville.
And Carolina did a really good job there, Eric. Got Jacksonville in a really tough third down situation, but you know, the metrics stay true on third down. Jacksonville able to convert, but they got a huge touchdown play on that one. And let's look at the drive summary real quick. As I just closed the sheet. Awesome on me. Good job. Can you take cover for me here, Eric?
I got you, man. 3 plays, 67-yard passing touchdown from Marcus Dunhill to Grayson Willis, and that kicks the game off for us. And man, what a drive there by Jacksonville. And like I said, it was looking bleak there to start things off, but you hit the nail on the head. 3rd down conversions for the Kings pays off for them on that drive. So Jacksonville will kick it off to Carolina now. Derek Norman, the kicker for the Kings. Return for Carolina, and that is Harish Prasad. Bounces off a tackle, goes near sideline, still rumbling, and gets a good return out to the Carolina 44-yard line. So good starting field position for Matt South and the Skyhawks offense.
Yeah, sometimes those second efforts like that, when they end up going the wrong way, you end up losing the yards. But Harish Prasad able to make something out of nothing, get down that right sideline, giving Carolina a really good starting field position.
And there's number 10, Matt South, coming in, his first season in Carolina, formerly of the Portland Fleet. He's going to pass to start things off. Swings it out to his fullback, and that's Freddie Greer with the catch. He'll get a couple of yards before he's stopped along the far sideline. We'll get a look at the Skyhawks on offense. Logan Jack, the running back. Sam Avalos, Heath McDaniel Jr., and Harish Prasad, the wide receivers. And Tony Zoma and Vince DeSantis are your tight ends. South under center. Single back is Logan Jack. Kings are stacking the box on defense. Instead, South will throw. He's going to throw a quick out there along the far sideline, and that's caught for a minimal gain. That's going to bring him out to midfield for a 3rd and short. Getting a look at the Kings on defense. Mike All, Taekwon Hale, Hunter Norwood, and Marcus Sledge all in the front 4. John Martin, Yakov Zolotov, the linebackers. Connor Darien, Bernard Good in the corners. Greg Gaines and Succa Lamano are the safeties. Brings up 3rd and 4. 4 wideouts for South to work with. He's going to fire it towards the far sideline again. Close to first down yardage. Vince DeSantis made the catch but couldn't quite get the first down yardage needed, and that brings up a 4th down.
Yeah, on the short side of the field, the tight end DeSantis didn't have enough room to turn upfield after making the reception, just short of the first down marker. So a quick 3 and out for Carolina. Looks like they're going to bring the offense out here, though, Eric.
We'll see what they do here. Might be one of those mind games, a little bit of gamesmanship here on behalf of the Skyhawks. No, they're going to run a play, and South is going to air it out over the middle. It's picked off. Jacksonville going the other way. He's got a blocker in front and good speed as he makes it out to the Carolina 34-yard line. What a play coming out of center field by Greg Gaines.
Yeah, and just playing center field for the Kings defense. Let the ball go in the air and just reading the quarterback's eyes. Jumps in front of this one and a huge return on the interception. Going to put Jacksonville in scoring position on this drive.
What a turn of events there for the Skyhawks as they had a 4th and manageable there. Probably could have handed it to your big back Logan Jack going up the middle, but instead elect to go through the air with the football. And it ends up being a turnover. So Jacksonville with great starting field position on their second drive following the turnover. Dunhill throws it short over the middle. That's caught, and he's going to be marked shy of the line to gain at the 24-yard line. Jack Wall with the 9-yard reception there, and we'll get a look at the Skyhawks on defense quickly. Ryan Ray, John Neville, Phil Hall, all on the defensive line. Trevon Prasad, David Ware, and Chad Stinson, the linebackers. Tristan Hatley, Mark Martin, and Davidson Joseph, the corners. Daniel Valentine, Monte Wyatt, and Kane Vasquez are the safeties. Just about 8 minutes to go here in the opening quarter. Handoff to Jared Willis, and he's not going to get the yardage needed as he gets marked just shy of the line to gain. Good play by the linebacker, Chad Stinson.
Yeah, and sets up an interesting 3rd down now for the Kings, and we'll see if they give another chance here to Willis on this 3rd and very, very short.
Skyhawks stacking the box. Dunhill going to throw over the middle. Caught. First down yardage to Jack Wall. Again, 2 catches on this drive, both for good chunks of yardage, and they'll move inside the SFL red zone to the 17-yard line.
Yeah, the number 2 option as far as receptions on the season for this offense. Jack Wall now with his 45th reception on the season. A very reliable target for Marcus Dunhill.
Fresh set of downs now from the 17. Dunhill handoff to Willis, and he's going to get a short gain out to the 15-yard line. As I think that was number 52, the defensive end, Ray, getting in there with the stop.
Yeah, Ray is an athletic defensive lineman. They'll sometimes drop him back into coverage, but Willis right now getting about his average, 2.3 yards per carry on the season, and picked it up there on first down.
Dunhill gonna swing it out towards the far sideline. Caught. He had a diving receiver there, but instead completes it, I believe, to his tight end, Talon Steele, the other tight end in this mix, and that's going to bring up 3rd and short.
And good to see the other tight end, Talon Steele, getting that reception there. Had a chance to meet him at the convention. Great guy. So good to see him getting involved in the play offensive here.
I got a chance to sit down with him as well. Got to agree. Great guy. Coming out of Tennessee, playing with the Jacksonville Kings. Dunhill's going to throw over the middle. 1st down yardage to Jack Wall. He's been a machine on this drive, and that sets up 1st and goal from the goal line.
And looks like they're going to continue to use Wall on arrow routes across the middle, just getting underneath the linebackers, and it's been very effective here early in this first quarter.
Already doubling the plays from the previous drive, and a shorter field position as Dunhill's going to throw it out to his running back, and Willis is able to get it in the end zone. Touchdown, Jacksonville.
And Jared Willis had to fight to get in there. Carolina looked prepared for the swing play there, but just the second effort of Jared Willis gets it into the end zone. And Jacksonville, early in this ball game, they look really sharp, and they're pulling away from Carolina.
And the turnover differential for Jacksonville coming into this ball game dead last in the league at -9, but they're able to take advantage of the turnover there and get 7 points on the board. Hopefully the 7th point coming off their kicker. And Derek Norman is able to boot it through to make it a 14-point advantage early on here at home for the Kings. 7 plays, 33 yards, and a 1-yard passing touchdown from Dunhill to Jared Willis coming out of the backfield.
Yeah, Carolina really needs to find a way to get some first downs on this drive. Really chew up some clock. You know, they can't give the ball right back to Jacksonville with all the momentum that they have here at home. Carolina's got to find a way to calm their nerves and get some points on the board here, Eric.
We'll see how they respond here. A great return to start things off for Prasad, and he'll get a decent one out to the 33-yard line. So a couple good returns for the Skyhawks to start things off. They go 4 and out basically on their opening possession, resulting in the turnover that Jacksonville took quick advantage of there with the 7-play drive we just saw. So Matt South will line up under center again. Another quick pass and another couple of yards there for the Skyhawks on offense. We've seen a lot of quick throws here from South early on. Do you think that's part of the game plan here, Steven?
I think it is. Yeah, I think Carolina likes to attack that way. I will say that the wrinkle thrown over to DeSantis is a little bit different for them, but they typically like to throw to Logan Jack out of the backfield and then try to take the deep shot to Harish Prasad or Heath McDaniel down the field after they lull the defense to sleep.
South again will throw. Going to throw the out route this time. He finds Heath McDaniel Jr. close to a first down as he steps out of bounds near the line to gain. They'll mark him down at the 43, 3rd and inches.
3rd and manageable. Again, it'll be interesting to see if they try to go with the swing pass or a slant instead of, maybe a dive play up the middle with Logan Jack. Here near midfield, we'll see what Carolina goes with.
Very familiar formation for the Skyhawks this time. We'll see Logan Jack. Good shuffle step there as he's able to get first down yardage close to midfield. Mark him down at the Carolina 48.
And that's what you need. That's the first down of the ball game for Carolina now. And starting to get things going, getting closer to plus territory, needing to get on the other side of the 50 to really give Jacksonville, make Jacksonville's defense sweat a little bit.
Free play on first down as Jack gets the carry, goes nowhere. But a little bit early on the defensive line. I think that might have been Tyquan Hale from his defensive end spot. We'll see what the call is.
Definitely not the lapse of discipline that you expect from a legend like Tyquan Hale, but able to get the Carolina Skyhawks able to draw them off sides and get a free 5 yards out of that play.
Yeah, so that'll set up 1st and 5 as they move into Jacksonville territory with the penalty yardage. Also, shout out to my best friend Kate Stevens in the check and Maduval.
What's up, Kate? Good to see you here, buddy.
South going to be under center. Jacksonville stacking the box. Jack is going to get buried in the backfield as they were anticipating the run. Tackle was made by Mike Peterson, one of the extra linebackers they had in on the formation.
I was daydreaming about Kate, Eric. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay, man. I do that all the time. 2nd and 7 now. Under 3.5 to go in the opening quarter. South will throw. Pressure's coming. He's going to throw towards the far sideline, and that's caught for a minimal gain. But it brings up 3rd and manageable. If you're new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website at simulationfl.net. The SFL, we put the fan in fantasy. 3rd and short now for Carolina. South, again, going to throw an out route, this time good for first down yardage as he finds Vince DeSantis once again along that far sideline, and he will move those chains.
And I like the A squads. They spread out the defense, but Jacksonville was in a base 4-3 there, but they had all the receivers spread out wide, and I think that gave the tight end a little bit of extra space on the outside there to make that play, and it gave Carolina that first down.
Much better start for Carolina on this second possession here as they are down 14 points early here in the ball game. Jack with another carry, and he gets minimal yardage as Succalamano and company is able to stop him right at the line of scrimmage, gain of maybe half a yard.
And Logan Jack comes into this game averaging 3 yards a carry, gets quite a bit of workload on the ground. He's middle of the pack in the SFL, averaging or has 90 carries on the season. That's good for 15.
South pump fake. He's going to get dragged down by the ankles. Coming around his backside there was, I believe that was Hunter Norwood from his defensive tackle spot. Just beat his man and is able to wrap down Matt South there on the 2nd down play.
And that sack is now, Hunter Norwood is now at 103.5 sacks. Good for 3rd all-time in the SFL behind Taekwon Hill.
Of course, behind big sexy Alex Dominguez for 1st in the league. South going to air it out, and that's a dangerous pass. It's incomplete. He was looking, I believe that was Harish Prasad. It was, and just couldn't quite reel it in traffic. It was a dangerous pass, though, Steven.
Yeah, and Carolina likes to throw those risky plays to Prasad. He's one of the receivers in the SFL that can come down with those. They just need to be in a little bit better situation, not be in those 3rd and longs where they can maybe draw up a slant instead of having to go with the deep post.
So we're going to see Carolina try and pin them back deep. That's Mike Johnson with the punt. It's going to bounce right at about the 10-yard line and trickle down at the 2. A nice little backspin there. It looked like maybe a little, what is that? Kate will help me out on that one. Maybe 52-degree wedge on that one.
I know it was a great punt. That's all I know. Dies down perfectly. Landed right about the 10-yard line, took a bounce and rolled and just stopped perfectly at the 2. It was a great punt for Carolina.
I thought that was Phil Mickelson out there with his, trusty wedge. Marcus Dunhill from his own end zone. He's thrown, but he completes it for first down yardage. That'll get him out of the shadow of their own end zone as Shea Carroll makes his first catch of the afternoon, and that was a big one.
Yeah, and you can't say enough about the pocket presence of Marcus Dunhill, standing tall in the pocket, able to make that throw. A little bit of a wobbler, but the receiver bails him out, helps him, and makes that catch and gets the first down for the Kings.
Under 90 seconds to go in the first quarter, Jacksonville with a commanding lead over the visiting Skyhawks. Dunhill doesn't like something, and he's going to change things up at the line. Going to be a kill play, and that'll be Jared Willis with the carry. Good stiff arm, but gets wrapped up right around the line of scrimmage for a short gain.
And that may seem like it didn't work, but I think Dunhill recognized the defense early on, called the audible, and then the defense adjusted to that. So, I think Dunhill did a really good job minimizing the risk, checked down and just took the kill play, like you said, and got the 1 yard out of it. I think that was a great veteran move by quarterback Marcus Dunhill.
And that's why they brought him in here after the departure of Christian Christensen in the offseason, needed a veteran presence. And I believe that's what Marcus Dunhill brings to this Kings squad as he fires it out towards the far sideline. A great adjustment there by the receiver, and then turns upfield for a gain of 9. That was Shea Carroll, his second catch on the drive.
Yeah, and Dunhill going through his progressions, had a double out route to the right side and picked the right receiver, and a great jumping catch made, and now also some yards after the catch.
3rd and short might be the final play of the first quarter. Dunhill takes the snap, going to get first down yardage across to the far sideline there. And that will be out to the Jacksonville 35-yard line. Grayson Willis, his second catch. And the big one there in the opening quarter for the touchdown play. Jacksonville up 14-0 here at home. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music. We're live on the league's Twitch channel. We'll be right back.
Watt 73 from 2K, and where is he?
Back live in Jacksonville as the Kings hold a 14-0 advantage over the visiting Carolina Skyhawks as we kick off the second quarter of play. Jacksonville with their 3rd possession had success on both opening possessions in the first quarter, both for touchdowns. As we see a pitch play to Jared Willis, and he escapes a tackler, makes it out to the 35-yard line, I believe. Short gain of 3, might be the 38. And Eric Vincent alongside Stephen Hacker, Dwayne Schindler, and Justin Mercide in the stats truck. Great afternoon of football here, Stephen.
Absolutely. The weather is fairly pretty. It's really nice over here in Florida, and it looks like the offenses are both ready to get going in this second quarter here, Eric.
Dunhill going to throw over the middle. Caught. Going backwards, though, and that will result in forward progress not being past the line to gain. Kingston Ellington, the former DC Dragon, with the catch, but going backwards there kind of prevented him from moving the sticks.
3rd and 1. I think they need to dial up Jared Willis here, Eric. I think this is prime territory for Willis to chug forward and get the first down.
They do have the formation to do it. Single back, heavy formation. We will see Willis, but he gets buried in the backfield. Carolina was ready for the run play all the way, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. Stinson with the tackle.
And, I mean, he shot that gap. I mean, there was no hesitation in where he was going. 3 seasons of experience, and Chad Stinson just let it go there in the gap and stop that drive dead at the Jacksonville 42-yard line.
So a punt by Jacksonville. First punt of the afternoon for Howard McCoy as Prasad trying to throw them in a spin cycle, but he'll make it out to the 25-yard line with 9:25 to go here in the second quarter of play. And what kind of adjustments do you think they made going from the first to the second quarter here, Stephen?
You know, I think that they're going to continue to do what they are going to do. They're going to dink and dunk. They're going to look to get the defense sleeping, and they're going to try to take a big shot down the field with Reese Prasad. So I would expect it. You know, I don't see any reason to change. I think that works for them. It hasn't worked yet.
South is going to throw. He'll throw another out route there. Leaping catch made by Prasad for a short gain of 3. And just looking at the quarterback numbers there, we definitely see the difference in passing attacks between these two teams. South is very content to dink and dunk, and Dunhill is willing to go over the top a little bit more.
Yeah, and you know, Dunhill has had a really good connection underneath to Jack Wall. And then that's allowed them to take the time and be patient and wait for the big strike like he got to Grayson Willis.
South trying to go deep again, but again, the Jacksonville secondary was ready for it. And that was Greg Gaines who had the pick in the first quarter there that set Jacksonville up with great starting field position on their second drive.
Yeah, he's turning into a little bit of a weapon here in the defensive backfield for the Kings. You know, playing center field really well. Harish Prasad, not an easy matchup, and he's out there covering him pretty much one-on-one and makes a great play on the ball.
86 degrees here in Jacksonville, Florida, 75% humidity, so a little sticky out there on the football field today. Hopefully the players are staying hydrated with, sports drinks and water and all that good stuff just to prevent cramps. South is going to air it out. He's got a receiver past the defense. First down yardage into Jacksonville territory. And that's what you were talking about, Steven, just taking the top off the defense, lulling the defense to sleep with the little dink and dunk action.
Yeah, and probably everybody on the field was looking over at Harish Prasad, except for Matt South. Matt South said, nope, I'm going to look over here at my number 2 option. And Heath McDaniel gets dialed up and makes a huge first down for Carolina.
And he's a big presence in that offense as well. His third overall season in the Simulation Football League, transitioning over to wide receiver, his second here in Carolina, as he was in Vancouver as a wide receiver beforehand. As South throws it towards the far sideline, and again, that's caught. Carolina just moving the football methodically down the field as Prasad gets another catch.
Yeah, and this really works for them. You know, Carolina will do this, but you know, hopefully they can check down, maybe look for Logan Jack here to put them in a really a third and short, a third and manageable, instead of trying to take the deep shots like they like to do on second down, it seems like.
South under center, 2 wide receivers towards the bottom of the formation. He will throw down towards the bottom of that formation. And he's got his man Prasad again, this time for first down yardage as they move deeper into Jacksonville territory.
Yeah, in plus territory. And now I like it. A first down, now take a shot at the end zone, and you'll have 2 more chances to get that first down. I mean, you're almost in field goal range with Whistle Jones. So, you know, don't be afraid to take a shot here with Prasad and McDaniel down the field.
Jones definitely has the leg. He could definitely knock it through even from this distance. As Carolina is going to throw again, and South finds a receiver once again over the middle. That time it's DeSantis, the tight end. And that's a good chunk of 8 yards, moving closer and closer to the goal line there.
Now with 3 receptions in this ballgame, DeSantis really seems to be the focal point for Carolina. I think they made some adjustments, and I think that was one guy that maybe showed up in practice this week, and they thought deserved a couple extra targets here in this ballgame.
Jacksonville defense shifting around as Logan Jack gets the carry. Good block along the outside. He turns on the Jets, and he's going to get inside the 10 down to the 9-yard line, first and goal.
And fantastic work up front by the white jerseys, leading the charge for Logan Jack, able to get a huge run out there on the right side off the edge. Look at all the blocking, just fantastic work in the trenches by the Skyhawks.
And Heath McDaniel Jr. landing a huge block that sprung Jack free there. And he gets tattooed along the sideline as Yakov Zolotov was the one who laid the lumber there. I'm sure Logan Jack's going to be feeling that one.
There's coverage on the outside here, Eric.
Might be going fade route here as South is going to go the other way. Instead, good spin move by Prasad, and he's able to get into the end zone for Carolina.
Pays the price on the way into the end zone, but that loose coverage, Eric, you know, they gave Prasad room to operate there on the left sideline, turned upfield, spun his way into the end zone, and Carolina now knocking on the door trying to make this a ball game.
You're watching the play develop, and you see 2 purple jerseys out there. As soon as he made the catch, you're thinking he's not going to get into the end zone, maybe stopped at the goal line, but that spin move there is able to get him the momentum that Prasad needed into the end zone, and that will get the Skyhawks on the board for the first time this afternoon as Jones is looking to add the extra point to make it a 7-point game.
And that was, you know, Carolina had been doing that all game long. It was just that drive they were able to string a couple of first downs together and really move down the field, where a couple of the other drives had just kind of stalled out on them. And that was a perfectly executed drive by the Skyhawks on that one, Eric.
Agree with you completely, Steven. 8 plays, 76 yards, 9-yard passing touchdown from Matt South to Harish Prasad, and that makes it a 14-7 ball game here in Jacksonville. Jones boots the football away, and Jacksonville will get another return, and that's Kingston Ellington who makes it out to the 27-yard line as Matt South, I believe, hit a milestone on that last drive there, Steven.
Yeah, Matt South going to go over 12,000 career passing yards in the SFL, a huge career milestone for this quarterback. Congratulations, Matt South.
Congratulations indeed. Definitely getting a fresh start here with the Skyhawks, as he looked like a different version of himself altogether in Portland, but he's looking more like the Matt South we know and love here in the Skyhawks uniform, as Jared Willis gets knocked down for no gain, actually a loss of 1.
Yeah, struggling, to sometimes to be effective on the ground. But Marcus Dunhill has a really strong arm. They're going to use that to their advantage, but you have to keep the defense honest. And when you have a power back like Jared Willis, sometimes you got to take the good with the bad.
Bunch of receivers towards the top of the formation. Willis will get another carry, and good blocking up front. He spins back towards the inside. I don't know about you, Steven, but I probably would have bounced it to the outside and just turned on the jets a little bit.
Yeah, sticking to his archetype. He knows what he's good at. He's going to lower his shoulders, really wants to favor the inside of the field where he likes the contact. Jared Willis wants that contact, and, he's looking to engage when he's out there. So I think he was just trying to stick to his strengths on that one.
Sets up a 3rd and long, empty set for Dunhill. He's going to fire a big one there, and he's got his man once again. Willis has been very active on this drive, and he's got another long touchdown grab for Jacksonville.
Something's in his shoes. Something's in his shoes. That man is too quick out there on the left sideline. Jared Willis with his 2nd touchdown in this ball game.
We'll get another look from the replay, and you're absolutely right, Steve. Check that man's shoes there, because he is just burning guys off the line, and even when it looks like a defender has an opportunity to bring him down before he hits the end zone, I mean, that's 2 plays we've seen now where he just goes the distance from a long ways out.
And just really, really hard to track down. He just has that next level burst out there, and he's just one of those receivers that if he gets his hand on the ball and the defenders are behind him, there's nobody that's going to catch him. It's a really tough task to run him down with track star speed.
Norman is going to add the extra point for Jacksonville, and I tell you what, Steven, a little Twilight Zone-esque here for me. Almost identical drives, both with long passing touchdowns to Grayson Willis. In the first quarter, 3 plays, 67 yards. That was a 67-yard passing touchdown. 3 plays, 64 yards just now with a 61-yard passing touchdown to Grayson Willis. Yeah,
and I think they really found something that works. I think that they did their homework, and they like that kind of route tree with Willis, and it's working out here perfectly at home for the Jacksonville Kings.
Prasad with the return, and he'll make it out to the Carolina 30-yard line. Big-time game so far for Grayson Willis. 3 catches, 136 yards, 2 touchdowns on his resume today. And Carolina is stuck reeling once again as they narrow the gap, and then Jacksonville just able to go out on top once more and extend the lead back up to 2 scores.
Yeah, Jack's dad had this game as a pick'em and a 48.5 over-under in this ball game. So we could get there on the over-under, but we'll see. Carolina's going to have to really fight back in this one to make it a pick'em.
And that's a good start right there as McDaniel Jr. makes the catch, and he's close to first down yardage. Call it a gain of 9.5 out to the 40-yard line.
So Carolina now with an opportunity to pick up their 7th first down in this ball game. 2nd inches. The playbook is really wide open here, Eric. They can really do whatever they want. We'll see what they draw up.
Looking like it might be a Logan Jack run here as he sets offset in the formation. South under center, barking out signals. He's going to hand it off to Jack, who bounces it to the outside, then spins inside, gets just enough to move those chains out to the Carolina 41-yard line. He has been roughed around here today as he gets another big hit from the Jacksonville front 7.
Greg Gaines, I'm slowly beginning to realize that I need to be watching this guy. Already with an interception here today, and that's the 2nd big hit out of this 5-season veteran, previously with Mexico City, Chicago, and Oklahoma City.
South wide open is McDaniel as he scampers out of bounds at the Carolina 45-yard line. Visit the SFL League website at simulationfl.net for info on how to create a player to join our community, the league, and the teams that play in it. There's a comprehensive history of the SFL. It's over 1,500 games, and it's thousands of players who have hit the virtual field. The Simulation Football League, 17 seasons strong. Offset eye. 2nd and 6 here for the Skyhawks. South going to sling it out to Logan Jack and couldn't quite beat the one-on-one defender there. And that's your boy right there again, Gaines, with another stop, and that'll stop him at 3rd and 4.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of extra time in the film room this week. Greg Gaines looks extremely prepared for this ball game, looking sleek out there in the purple and gold.
Carolina got to get some points on the board here as we near closer and closer to the 2-minute warning. South wants to air it out, and it's another interception for Jacksonville. Playing off the receiver, and I think that might be part of the game plan here today, Steven, as the secondary has played off the receivers, and they've come in and just swooped in for interceptions. Connor Darien with the pick there.
Yeah, and they were able to drop that one in earlier in the ball game, and I think Connor Darien learned a lesson. And this time kept his eyes on the quarterback a little bit more, kept the receiver in front of him, didn't let the receiver get behind him, and was able to make a great play, adjust to the ball, and take that one away from the Skyhawks.
Disappointing result for the Skyhawks as Jacksonville takes over for another offensive possession here. Dunhill is going to throw deep and into coverage. It falls incomplete, but there is a penalty marker on the field. Monte Wyatt was in coverage on the big man Grayson Willis. We'll have to see what the flag's all about.
And if they're going to say that's pass interference, I find that to be very questionable. Okay, it was not.
Nah, instead we're going to get roughing the passer there, so that'll give them a free first down as Ryan Ray comes in and lays a late hit on Marcus Dunhill after he released the football. I didn't see it in real time, Steven, so I'm not sure what exactly happened on that play, but a free 15 yards is never going to be beneficial.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of frustration there from the defensive lineman, trying to rattle the quarterback a little bit and get him off his rhythm. We'll see how it affects the Kings' offense.
Might end up being worth it here for the Skyhawks in the long run as Dunhill is going to sling it out. Good couple of spin moves there from Willis as Jared Willis makes it out to the 37-yard line of Carolina for a gain of 4.
In plus territory with plenty of time here in the second quarter to make another strike and try to extend this lead even more against the Skyhawks.
Stinson with the tackle. He's had 4 in the first half here this afternoon. Dunhill to throw again. Good pocket. Going to sling it over the middle, and that's Willis with a short gain this time. He's been the deep ball threat this afternoon for Jacksonville, but he's going to get close to first down yardage to the 32-yard line, 3rd and short.
Shallow cross there, and Jacksonville looking really patient. Not rushing or hurrying at all. Dunhill looks completely composed right now, and Jacksonville is just moving down the field.
Dunhill again to Willis, and this time it will be for first down yardage, as that might be the final play before the 2-minute warning, and Jacksonville is just moving the ball, matriculating it down the field. And we have hit the 2-minute warning here in Jacksonville. 21-7 your score as the Kings are in full control here at home. Dunhill under center, offset back is going to be Jared Willis. Dunhill with a short drop. He's going to sling it out to Jared Willis, who fights for additional yardage, and he'll get marked down at the 25-yard line as the clock continues to roll here. Both teams with all 3 timeouts before the half.
Yeah, and a good wrap-up tackle by Cain Vasquez. Willis making that second effort, but Vasquez holding on for dear life, drags the ball carrier down, trying to keep Jacksonville as far away from the end zone, maybe set up for a long field goal attempt.
Dunhill gives it off to Willis, and he gets buried right at the line of scrimmage. Carolina's been very good on rush defense here today, as Jared Willis has not had a ton of yardage to his name here this afternoon.
And Stinson's got his ears pinned back. I mean, he's just playing purely on instincts, just filling that gap immediately, just going purely on instinct, able to get in the backfield and stop Jared Willis.
Dunhill, empty set this time. 4 wideouts, 3 towards the bottom of the formation. Dunhill going to throw it over the middle into traffic and caught. First down yardage. It's going to be a 1st and goal to the Carolina 9 as they go no huddle. Dunhill again to throw. He's going to throw corner of the end zone, incomplete. Good coverage by the Skyhawks secondary, as that could have easily been an interception, and instead it's going to freeze the clock at 48 seconds.
Yeah, Davidson Joseph over there on the bottom of the screen made a nice play in the corner of the end zone. It was a great throw by Dunhill, but Davidson Joseph able to get a hand on it, tip it away, almost got a tip drill and a turnover for the Skyhawks. But we'll see what Jacksonville can do here on the 2nd goal.
Dunhill to throw again, pressure in his face, throws a wobbler, but still ends up completing it near the goal line. And Jack Wall makes the reception there. Jacksonville going to call their first timeout with 44 seconds to go here in the first half.
And the arm motion there from Dunhill, totally unorthodox, not his normal throwing motion, but had to squeeze it in there. And Jack Wall doing a great job continuing to find the space underneath the linebackers and getting open for his quarterback.
3rd and goal now from the 1. Dunhill is going to throw. Far sideline, picked off. Could have kneeled it in the end zone. Actually, probably could have gone back the other way. But instead, it's going to be a touchback out to the 20-yard line as Tristan Hatley makes the clutch interception in his own end zone.
Yeah, and they a nice play design, but I don't like the double out in that situation. The end zone is acting as that 12th defender out there for the Skyhawks, and it really helped out the corners. And Tristan Hatley able to make a great play, keeping the Jacksonville Kings out of the end zone and giving their offense really good field position now at their own 20-yard line.
So now the Skyhawks take over. They have 3 timeouts. Might be able to get some points on the board before the half. South going to throw the out route there and stays in bounds. No, they're going to mark him out of bounds. I thought he stayed in bounds there, Steven. That was an interesting play as Prasad makes the reception for a short gain of 3.
Yeah, I think they're going to say his helmet was on the out of bounds line. I mean, a very generous out of bounds call for the Skyhawks there, but it gives them a chance to huddle up and draw up a deeper play maybe down the field.
7 catches, 34 yards for Prasad this afternoon. South coming out of the eye. He's going to throw, slinging out to one of his backs coming out of the backfield. I believe that was Logan Jack with the catch. And he goes nowhere. Carolina might be content just letting the clock run out here as their drive goes a little stagnant.
Yeah, I didn't quite get what they were looking for there as they were trying to get the defensive backs deeper down the field and let Logan Jack get upfield, but it looked like a cover 2 defense and short gain for the Skyhawks.
Maybe time for one more play for Carolina. South going to air it out over the middle. They're going to call that a fumble. No. It's on the field still, and Jacksonville is going to cover it up as the clock hits triple zeros. I'm not sure if that was a fumble or an incomplete pass, and I'm not sure if they're even going to review it at this point.
Well, the call on the field was definitely a fumble. They're going to say Haris Prasad definitely caught this ball. So a play made. And then who else? Greg Gaines forces the fumble and then jumps and recovers that fumble. Greg Gaines is playing out of his mind right now, Eric.
Had an opportunity for a second interception, had one in the first quarter, fumble recovery to end the half as we don't get a review at all. And Jacksonville with a 14-point advantage going into the half as we get a look at the first half stats and highlights. And it's been all Jacksonville here this afternoon.
Absolutely. You know, we expected low numbers in the rushing column, but Jacksonville answering the call here through the air as Grayson Willis having a phenomenal day through the air, the 7-season veteran, playing like a young man, not showing any signs of age, just burning all the defenders out there and really helping his quarterback out. But, you know, my player of the first half, definitely that guy right there, Greg Gaines, balling out of control here early in this ball game.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, as we hit the halftime break, interception there, we just saw that, had an opportunity at another pick over the middle of the field as it just, alligator armed it, basically fell off his hands to the turf, and then get the fumble recovery towards the end of the half. And the Jacksonville offense has been firing on all cylinders. I mean, the dice are just rolling their way right now as far as the Kings offense is concerned, as they capitalized off the turnover. Even the turnover late in the half there didn't really snake bite them at all, as they're able to get the fumble to close things out, and they're up by 14 going into the locker rooms at halftime.
And shout out to Carolina, because they're keeping themselves in this game. It seems like a 14-point deficit is a little unreachable, but Carolina has shown that they can put together a good drive. The one drive that led to the touchdown, they just have to find a way to replicate that and string together a couple of good defensive drives. Find a way to slow down the big strike from Jacksonville, because they've done a really good job containing the ground game. Jared Willis not doing too much on the ground. So if they can convert more turnovers like that one there by Tristan Hatley, find a way to keep Jacksonville out of the end zone and get their offense going and string together a couple of first downs before they take that big shot. Because it seems like that big shot is the one that's kind of killing their drives. They got to find a way to string the first downs together, keep the ball moving, and then when Jacksonville is asleep, now take your shot and get back in this ball game.
We'll take a short break here as Carolina will get the football to start the second half. This is the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music, live on the league's Twitch channel. We'll be right back.
What's up, everyone? I'm Doug. What's up, everyone? I'm Doug, oh my god.
I'm Doug Brown, running back, Mud Dogs. That's Potty, Kicker, Dragons. That's Benny Butcher, DT, Dragons. We the Simpot, the late night SFL podcast. Check us out on YouTube and Twitter.
Back live in Jacksonville for the second half action here between the Kings and the Skyhawks, as the Kings hold a 14-point advantage over Carolina, as Prasad takes the second half kickoff and he will bring it out to the 34-yard line. Over on For the Fans, looks like Atlanta has jumped out to a 7-point advantage over the Louisiana Revolution. They are live from Atlanta in the Hive. So we got great Simulation Football League action going on all this afternoon. You don't want to miss a second of that.
Yeah, Reggie Streeter knocked out early in that ball game, the star Louisiana running back, so playing at a deficit against Atlanta on the road.
Free play here for Carolina to start things off, and they will take the free 5 yards as Zoma makes the catch. It was a difficult reception there, but with the offsides on the play, I think Carolina will take the 1st and 5.
Yeah, gonna take the numbers here, gonna get the replay downs and the free 5 yards.
Eric Vincent alongside Steven Hacker, Dwayne Schindler, and Justin Rasad in the stats truck. And it's been a great afternoon of football. Jacksonville dominated the first half, but Carolina has looked good on offense, just maybe a couple plays away from really getting themselves back into this ball game, and a prime opportunity here, getting the second half kickoff here on the road. We'll see a carry from Logan Jack. He stays in the middle of the field and will get first down yardage out to the Carolina 45-yard line. Good start for the Skyhawks to open things up.
Yeah, needed the first down. Did pretty well in the first half. It had 8 first downs in the first, so coming out here early in the second half, getting their first down here, and good job by the Skyhawks coming out with a good plan here early in this second half.
Another handoff, and this time only for maybe a gain of a yard as the Jacksonville defense was ready for that one. Yakov Zolotov comes in and makes the stop. He had a big hit on the sideline on Jack earlier in the game. Brings up 2nd and 9 for Carolina, I formation this time around. South will throw this time to Logan Jack coming out of the backfield. And again, Jacksonville ready for the screenplay as Succalamano comes up and makes the stop from his strong safety spot.
And now Jacksonville answering the call here on defense. Carolina looked sharp starting, and then Jacksonville going to match the tempo. Sets up a 3rd and 10 for Carolina.
South going to throw near sideline, not even close to the first down marker as the out route was run McDaniel Jr. It'll be a catch, but it'll be a punt from midfield.
And unfortunate first drive, it looked like it had all the workings. It looked like they were going to be able to go down the field. Stalls out right here at midfield, going to have to punt this one away. Punter looking like he's going to try to angle this one to the left sideline, Eric. We'll see if Carolina can pin this one inside the 20.
Johnson had an impressive punt earlier in the first half that stopped Jacksonville at the 2-yard line. This one a little bit shorter, but Jacksonville will set up shop at the 19-yard line with 8:41 to go here in the third quarter of play.
And Kingston Ellington with about a 4-yard return gets that one right to the Jacksonville 20-yard line. So Carolina about a net 31 on that punt, and we'll see how the Kings respond.
Dunhill was sharp in the opening half, 19 of 21, 243, and 3 touchdowns. One interception was one of those incompletions he had, and there's a second one there, a third one, as Ware came in and batted the football down to the turf. David Ware, the outside linebacker.
And good coverage by the linebacker. Able to get over to the sideline, jumps up, makes a nice play, and if he's able to somehow wrangle that one in, that's pay dirt. I mean, nobody in front of him and a short field to get to the end zone. Jacksonville has to be breathing a sigh of relief on that.
Brings up 2nd down here for the Kings. We got to look at Dunhill's numbers. Even with the interception, an impressive QBR of 137.5 here this afternoon. And he's probably going to pass this football here right now. Coming out in an empty set, 4 wideouts, 3 towards the bottom of the formation. Takes the snap. Has time, going to gun it over the middle. Got a wide open man. First down yardage for the Kings. Out to the Jacksonville 43-yard line. This time it was Shea Carroll on the deep pass.
Yeah, Carroll went quiet, had a big first quarter, then a little quiet in the second quarter, now making a big entry into the third quarter on the post route, gets the first down out to almost midfield for the Kings.
Looked like zone coverage out there for the Skyhawks, and Shea Carroll was just able to find the hole in the zone and scoot ahead for a big chunky yardage out to the 43. Free play for Jacksonville now as Dunhill is going to throw towards the middle of the field, and that's caught. But I think they'll accept the penalty there. Good catch by Talon Steele, number 85. But Carolina jumped off sides, and that'll bring up a 1st and 5.
Yeah, and it looked like Carolina actually almost had the timing just right. It was probably over by just a hair, but did cross the line, and it was close. But I think Carolina's really trying to key off on that cadence of Marcus Dunhill, trying to apply the pressure on this quarterback who seems to be in fuego right now.
John Neville's the guilty party there. 1st and 5 now for Jacksonville. Handoff to Jared Willis, trying to find a hole in the defense, and he'll make it out close to first down yardage, probably a gain of 4 on the play, brings up 2nd and short.
Yeah, and Chad Stinson there, the linebacker on the Carolina Skyhawks, having himself a pretty nice day, making a bunch of really good plays. I mean, reacting immediately to where the ball's going and really reducing these carries for Jared Willis down to nothing.
Willis, another carry. Good spin move there. And again, Carolina ready for it. Tristan Hatley coming up and making the stop there. And that forces the 3rd down. That's going to be a 3rd and short And Jared Willis is one of the premier backs in the SFL, and we just haven't seen him struggle like this on the run game, at least not in recent memory.
No, not at all. Again, he is a grinder. He's a power back. So if if you can get in there and try to slow him down, it is doable. He doesn't have that breakaway speed a lot of times, but it takes a group and team effort to slow him down.
Dunhill, as you said, Steven, and Fuego here this afternoon as he finds Shea Carroll once again for another catch, his second on the drive and his second for a big chunk of yards that'll extend the drive.
Yeah, now 6 of 9 on third down, 7 of 9 on third down. I mean, Jacksonville just continuing to move the chains, and their 10th first down, 37th play of this ball game in 6 total drives.
Dunhill and the Jacksonville offense has looked very impressive here this afternoon as Willis will get another carry. That's really the only piece of their game that has been maybe lacking a little bit this afternoon. But Carolina, I'm sure they game plan to stop Jared Willis and make it so that he's not quite as much of a threat.
Yeah, and it's, anytime you see Willis get the carry up the middle, it's Stinson that's there to make that tackle. I mean, huge effort made by this linebacker, again, in the trenches, getting in there, make the play pretty much every time Willis gets the carry.
Willis with another carry and almost slipped the defender there. I thought maybe he was going to do it and bust it to the outside, but that was good resolve there by the corner, Mark Martin, to just wrap him up by the ankles to limit the damage.
Yeah, Willis now, that was his 11th carry, 12 yards on the ground. So, getting about 1 yard per carry here. And it's just a credit to the front seven of this Carolina Skyhawks defense.
3rd and 6, another carry for Willis, and Willis again bottled up before he can hit the line to gain. And that was Ryan Ray along with Shervon Prasad in there on the stop. That brings up a 4th down, and we'll probably see a field goal attempt for the first time here for Jacksonville.
Yeah, it'll be about a 36, 37-yard field goal attempt. Not a gimme by any stretch of the imagination. We'll see if the kicker can get this one on right down the center, not on either hash, right in the middle of the field. Some kickers struggle with that, Eric.
They do, and Derek Norman, not a star on this team, so we'll have to see if he's able to knock this one through from 37 yards. Good snap, gets it up, and it is no good. And you tapped on it there, Steven. Some kickers just struggle when it's not on one hash or the other. This one he pushed to the right.
Yeah, sometimes they just have a natural kind of hook or a curve in their kick, and you saw it there. That one just kind of faded to the right. And maybe if he was on the right hash, that would have been a different result for them. But, Jacksonville comes up short. Carolina going to take over from their own 27-yard line.
And the Skyhawks breathing a sigh of relief here as they were not able to do anything with their opening possession here in the 3rd quarter. Got an opportunity here to get closer to the Kings. They're only down by 2 scores, but South throws a dangerous pass over the middle. He was looking for his number 1 wideout, Harish Prasad, but good defense once again by that secondary for Jacksonville.
And Jacksonville has given up a couple of the big plays to Carolina, but I think you expect that. But they have shown that they are prepared for the big plays to McDaniel Jr. and to Prasad. So, maybe need to reduce the risk here, try to start looking to go underneath because Jacksonville is definitely trying to show that they're prepared for those deep plays.
South under center this time around. 7-step drop, pressure coming from his backside. Hit as he's thrown, and it's almost intercepted again. Just could not keep the tippy toes in bounds, and South is kind of kicking himself a little bit. Man, why did I let that one go?
That was Greg Gaines. No doubt in my mind that was Greg Gaines there on the sidelines. Just couldn't get the toe tap in, but a fantastic play would have taken that one away from the Skyhawks offense. Greg Gaines, man, is having a freaking game here, Eric. I mean, he's balling out. It's crazy.
Leaving it all out on the field for the Kings defense here this afternoon. South going to go empty this time. Pressure's in his face, and he's going to go down as Taekwon Hale hit him as he threw the football. And that brings up a 4th down. Carolina not able to get anything going at all against this Jacksonville defense.
And really unfortunate there. You felt like you had taken something away from Jacksonville, and then to kind of go stagnant on that drive and give it right back to them. You at some point Carolina's got to strike back and get a little fear in the hearts of Jacksonville, because right now they're not doing it. And if they keep letting Jacksonville get the ball back here at home, they're gonna seal this game up pretty early.
Wisconsin with another punt. Kingston Ellington with the return, who gets tattooed just about 1.5 yards past where he fielded the punt. Mark Martin laying the lumber there. And that will set them up at the 38-yard line. Visit the SFL website at simulationfl.net for links to apparel from Sector 6, the official apparel provider of the Simulation Football League, and SFL mini helmets from 97 Sports Promotions. Sector 6 features replica team jerseys and completely customized jackets, flags, t-shirts, and more. Get the gear the fans wear with Sector 6, 97 Sports Promotions, and the SFL. Dunhill will throw on first down, finds his man for a gain of about 7. As we get a look at Dunhill's numbers, Kingston Ellington puts him over 300 yards passing this afternoon.
Yeah, hasn't been involved much in the passing game in this ball game, but the return man out there for the Kings secures that target. You don't get your number called very much, but when you do, you better show up for your quarterback, and that leads to more targets in the games in the future.
Second and 4, heavy formation this time for Dunhill and the Kings. Carolina anticipating a run. Instead, they'll see a screen pass as Jared Willis, good spin move there, is able to get first down yardage out across to the Carolina 49-yard line.
Much more effective as a receiver in this ball game. Willis doing a nice job there to get the first down out there on the right sideline, breaking a couple of tackles. And the Kings are now closer to midfield, just past midfield, actually, into Carolina territory.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there, Steven, as he's just able to be a little bit more productive as a receiver coming out of the backfield here today, and that's just how the cookie crumbles for running backs sometimes. There are days where you're effective as a runner, and there are days where you're effective as a receiver. Sometimes both. As Dunhill is going to throw it over the middle to Ellington. He makes another catch, close to first down yardage as they move deeper into Carolina territory to the 41.
And just a nice little curl route there. Sold the deep route, turned around, and the zone coverage, he was underneath everybody, and Dunhill just got it out of his hands, and Ellington did a nice job to secure that target and get a couple extra yards on the reception.
Single back is Willis. He'll get the carry. And good open field tackle in the backfield. Just shoots the gap, and guess who? That's Stinson over on the Carolina Skyhawks defense. We've seen Greg Gaines on fire, basically, for this Kings defense, but Chad Stinson has been the one to really show up for Carolina today.
Yeah, on the Carolina side of the ball, it's definitely Chad Stinson's ball game, as he's now 10 total tackles and 2 tackles for a loss.
Dunhill to throw again. He's got 2 receivers in the area and finds one of them for first down yardage out to the Carolina 35-yard line. That will move the chains again, and Shea Carroll with another reception.
And Carroll has again tried to work his way back into being that favorite target. You know, Grayson Willis leading the charge with yards, but Shea Carroll ties him with targets and leads in receptions right now, and also getting really, really close to the century mark here in this ball game. You know, this wide receiving core of the Kings really came prepared here in this ball game.
Dunhill sets up in the gun. Pressure coming. He's going to throw it over the middle as he goes backwards. That's Kingston Ellington for a short gain of 5. Going over on the For the Fans Twitch channel. Back and forth they go. Tie ball game between the Revs and the Swarm over in Atlanta.
Yeah, you got to admire the effort that Louisiana is putting in. Again, Reggie Streeter, their main, their star running back, down and out for the game, and they're staying in that ball game against a tough Atlanta team.
Dunhill gonna gun over the middle. Diving grab there for Grayson Willis as he gets closer and closer to 7,000 career receiving yards. And, man, he's getting very, very close at this point.
And I think he knows it. Out there making a diving play. That's a tough catch to make in traffic. Had the safety closing in on him, but able to secure the target and get the Jacksonville Kings into the SFL red zone.
Coming into this ball game, needed 176 yards through the air to get 7,000 career receiving yards, As Jared Willis gets the pitch play there, and he's got good blocking. He's going to be into the end zone. Touchdown, Jacksonville.
Yeah, twice now in this ball game, Jacksonville goes with a toss or a pitch play, and this time it works out perfectly. Great blocking, secured the edge there. Shea Carroll with the great cut block or seal block there from the edge, and untouched into the end zone goes Jared Willis.
And Jacksonville is just running away with this football game here today. Tim Hackett in the chat, I could not agree with him more. This is vintage Dunhill here today. Norman lines up for the extra point, and he knocks it through to make it a 3-score advantage for the hometown Jacksonville Kings as they look to move to 2-4 and knock the Skyhawks back to 2-4. Coming into this ball game, it was a pick'em, and we thought we might have an interesting ball game. I don't think that really the SFL faithful thought we were going to get a heavy favorite one way or the other, but here we are at home for Jacksonville, and they're putting a licking on Carolina.
Yeah, and going into the game, I think everybody would have said this is a pick'em. But defensively, Greg Gaines has just taken away every opportunity for Carolina. Greg Gaines, the free safety for Jacksonville, just absolutely playing out of his mind. And it's hard to, it's special when a defensive player makes that kind of impact for your team where you can pretty much take the other team's offense off the field. And it's only one guy on your defense doing it. I mean, he's got a forced fumble recovery. He's got an interception. He's making big plays in the backfield, stopping players in their tracks. I mean, Greg Gaines for the Kings is just, my MVP in this game for sure.
South steps up in the pocket. He's going to lob one over the middle, and it's going to be intercepted. I thought it was going to hit the turf, but Jacksonville was ready for it there on the tip drill. And who came away with that one?
That was Bernard Gooden. I thought that was Greg Gaines. That was the quarterback dropping back deep in coverage. I thought that was the free safety coming over. But Jacksonville, commits forces another turnover and gets the ball here right at midfield, in Carolina territory, Eric.
3 picks for Matt South here this afternoon. Could have been 4 as Greg Gaines had an opportunity at second one early on in the first half, but 3 picks for any defense is going to be a great day. And Jacksonville looking to pour it on here, finds another man, and Marcus Dunhill has been pouring it on as he puts Grayson Willis above 7,000 career receiving yards.
Needed 176, now over 200 yards, and Grayson Willis, just a huge career milestone. Congratulations, over 7,000 receiving yards in his career, and having a phenomenal ball game here.
Dunhill is not slowing down in the least bit, and Grayson Willis is just going off here today for this offense. Dunhill under center. He's going to throw a quick out this time to Grayson Willis again, and he's going to get first down yardage inside the 5 to the 3-yard line. First and goal, Jacksonville.
And I actually have a moment of pause as this is the exact same situation where Jacksonville threw an interception earlier, but we got the end of the quarter here, Eric.
End of 3 quarters. Get your 4s up, get your 86s up in the chat. One more quarter of action here on the league's Twitch channel. This is the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music. We'll be right back. Back live in Duval County, Jacksonville, Florida for the final quarter of action as it's been all Kings here this afternoon. First and goal from the 3-yard line. Dunhill has been masterful here today as he hands off to Jared Willis, trying to find some room, and he'll get stopped near the line of scrimmage. Carolina has done a great job with the rushing attack here today, but man, Dunhill has more than made up for it through the air.
Yeah, I think if Carolina can make one more stand here and force Jacksonville to throw, I think Carolina can make another defensive stand and maybe possibly take this one away from Jacksonville. We'll see.
Definitely something they need at this point, down 3 scores. Dunhill quick fires it into the end zone. Touchdown, Shea Carroll.
And Shea Carroll, nice job there. They were bunched in tight there, Jacksonville was. And Carroll just sneaks his way kind of underneath the 3 receivers. And Dunhill just with the veteran throw, that's what you expect from him, able to make those tight window throws and just bunched it in right where he needed it to be.
Jacksonville in full control here at home, and this is the Kings team that we're used to seeing, as they just put points on the board, not necessarily from Jared Willis on the ground, as he's been a huge focal point with this Kings offense, but man, through the air, you said it, Steven, and Fuego.
Yeah, it really looked like they hit a rhythm in this ball game as Dunhill just seems like he's unstoppable right now. Only 3 incompletions in this ball game, averaging just over 11.5 yards per attempt. So Jacksonville looking to strike. They're not taking anything underneath unless they have to. They're trying to stretch the field as much as they can, and it's been paying off in dividends here in this ball game.
Norman lining up for the kickoff as Harish Prasad is going to be the return man for Carolina. He had a decent one to open things up here in the first quarter, and he'll make it out to the 27-yard line of Carolina. Visit the SFL's YouTube channel at youtube.com/SimulationFL for an archive of every game, every draft, every moment you might have missed since the Simulation Football League got its start back in 2013. SFL YouTube features top 10 plays of the week, archive people behind player segments, and all the major milestones in league history. South lining up under center. He's going to throw one dangerous into the middle of the field and incomplete. Guess who?
Well, I was going to say it was Yakov Zolotov that couldn't come up with the interception. But it was good hands, but I thought Greg Gaines was going to come in and swoop that one away. Superman on the Kings side of the defense. I definitely had my eyes out for him.
That was probably what threw me off there. I saw the 0 there and just assumed it was Greg Gaines.
He's been everywhere. It'd be safe to assume that, but I mean, it is. It's just anytime something good happens on the defensive side for the Kings, I'm just automatically assuming it's Greg Gaines.
South with a 7-step drop. He's going to air it out deep and overthrows his intended receiver. That was going to be Heath McDaniel Jr. Might have been just a bit too hasty on that play as pressure was coming in his face.
Yeah, Mike All, I think, was the main contributor to the errant throw by Matt South, bringing that pressure on the front side, and South could hear him just breathing heavy, coming to make a big hit, and South was just trying to get it out of his hands and hoping the receiver could make a play down the field.
3rd and long now for Carolina. South going to try and air it out again, and incomplete. Good coverage there, good patience by the defensive secondary, and Carolina not able to reel that one in, and that's going to be another 4th down for the Skyhawks.
Yeah, took another shot down the field with McDaniel Jr. and Connor Darien, after getting burnt the one time early in this ballgame, has stayed true to his coverage and really has kept McDaniel Jr. in front of him as best as possible. And that's 2 good plays now there on that deep play, that deep corner route that Carolina likes to run.
Another punt by Johnson. Fair catch called for and made by Kingston Ellington at the Jacksonville 42-yard line with 10:07 to go here in the 4th quarter. Coverage of the Simulation Football League's 17th season on Next Level Sports continues at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time Saturday with the clash on I-35 between our Fort Worth Toros and the Lone Star Glory. Bonus coverage has the Arizona Scorpions traveling to visit the Pacific-leading Los Angeles Lycans. It all comes your way next Saturday on Next Level Sports. I know we're looking forward to that matchup there, Steven.
Big time matchup. Definitely excited for it.
Dunhill throws it over the middle, and it's incomplete. Watching that play develop, and just given how Jacksonville has played this game, I thought it was going to end up being a deflection for a completion.
Yeah, right into the hands of Kingston Ellington right there. I mean, it did. It looked like it was going to go right to him. But, Carolina finally getting a break to go their way, just couldn't come up with the interception. Trevon Prasad got the hand on that one to knock it away from Shea Carroll.
That was Wes Turner, one of the extra receivers there, that saw the football, threw his hands out there, and just couldn't quite get his mitts on it as it hits the turf. 2nd down coming up. Dunhill from the gun takes the snap. He's going to fire it near sideline and incomplete. Good coverage from the Skyhawks secondary, as we've seen plenty of plays like that today where Dunhill just hits the deep shot, but the Skyhawks were ready for it there. That was Joseph with the deflection.
Yeah, Davidson Joseph making a nice play, but this drive is not over. Jacksonville 8 for 11 today here on third down, 72% with 16 first downs gained. We'll see if Carolina can get them off the field here.
Been a struggle for the Skyhawks defense on third down. Dunhill over the middle, and again the struggle continues as Kingston Ellington, the return man, is able to make a clutch catch over the middle into Carolina territory.
Yeah, making a big play from the slot receiver position, and a third and long, and Carolina has to be kicking themselves, as you feel like that was decent enough coverage to get Jacksonville off the field, but the weapons for the Kings offense really making these big plays, keeping the offense on the field and wearing down this clock.
Jared Willis, the lone back in the formation. Dunhill under center, heavy formation for the Kings as Willis gets the carry. And not great blocking up front there as he's only able to get maybe a half a yard. We see his numbers on the afternoon. Both him and Logan Jack have struggled in the run game.
Absolutely. And you know, Carolina was 7 men, basically 8 men in the box. And, you know, we're ready for the run there, and it leads to a short gain for the Kings. Again, 8 men in the box here, Eric.
Dunhill instead is going to throw, and he's going to beat the 8 men in the box as he finds Jack Wall there for a good chunk of 9 yards along the near sideline. Third and short coming up as we see Atlanta score again, but the extra point gets blocked by Louisiana. The Revs are just showing up and showing out over in Atlanta, trying to keep themselves above water against the Swarm.
Yeah, and it's a tough uphill battle, but, you know, credit to the entire Louisiana Revolution's team for making, you know, amazing plays. They had a 102-yard kick return and some very fortunate interceptions. I mean, their team has absolutely been combined as a unit to try to bring down the Atlanta Swarm.
And Jacksonville has been a unit to be reckoned with here today as Talon Steele makes the reception for first down yardage deeper into Carolina territory. Skyhawks just have not been able to get anything going on defense to really stop this Jacksonville passing attack. And another fresh set of downs here for Jacksonville as Dunhill will go play action this time. He's going to throw it over the middle and overshoots his intended man, Grayson Willis, as it falls to the turf, setting up second down. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. 8:06 to go in the fourth. Willis with the pitch play and gets buried in the backfield as Chad Stinson comes up with yet another tackle on the play. He's been very, very active from his linebacker position and has been very good in the run game today.
Yeah, and the third tackle for a loss there. It's a big key factor for the Skyhawks defense. But, you know, it's kind of all for naught because no matter what the third down situation is for Jacksonville, they seem to convert.
Free play for Jacksonville on third down, and it's not going to matter. They convert yet another third down, and Kingston Ellington has converted a couple of those here today. He gets another one as they move inside the SFL red zone.
Yeah, and I think, you know, Jacksonville is doing what they refer to as going to the well, as they just continue to call this play on third downs, and it continues to work for them as they just march down the field here late in this fourth quarter.
We got a saying in the South, Steven. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm familiar with that one.
And that's pretty much what Jacksonville's been doing all this afternoon, is just going to the well, as you said, and just pulling out these plays that have worked for them all game long. And the score definitely indicates that as they set up first and goal from the 10. Handoff to Jared Willis, and he gets tripped up at the line of scrimmage. This time it was Shravan Prasad with the stop.
And both linebackers now doing a really good job. No matter which side of the offense, no matter which guard Jared Willis runs behind, one of those linebackers is coming into that gap and making a really good play for a short gain.
Heavy set, strong side towards the near sideline. Another free play as Jared Willis gets snagged at the line of scrimmage again, but they'll get a free 5 yards on the play. Sets up second and goal from probably the 5.
And maybe a little bit of frustration from the Carolina side of the defense there. Again, trying to get the good jumps, trying to stay competitive in this ball game, but maybe a little bit of visible frustration on that one from the Skyhawks defense here inside the SFL red zone, giving Jacksonville another shot, a better field position.
Ray, the guilty party there as he jumps off sides and gives the Kings the free 5 yards. Clock continuing to roll, under 6.5 to go here in the 4th. Jacksonville knocking on the door once again. Dunhill to throw. Back of the end zone. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Shea Carroll with another touchdown grab.
That's Shea Carroll's second touchdown in this ball game. Got to be getting closer to that century mark here. And Jacksonville really came out in this ball game, Eric. They look like they've kind of turned the page a little bit. Maybe found something this week in practice. And coming out in this ball game, it looked really crisp, really sharp, extending the lead late in this game.
Norman is going to try and add the extra point here. That will make it a 42-7 lead here at home. Snap is a little low, but gets it up and is up and through. So now 42-7 your score. 6:15 to go here in the final quarter of play. And Jacksonville has had 9 offensive possessions here this afternoon, Steven. They've scored touchdowns on 6 of them.
And in Fuego, that's all I got to say, Eric. They're just sometimes you put together a game plan and you come out and everything works. And I just think that's what Jacksonville got here today. It's just everything is working. I think everybody is just, they're not even having to think. It's just happening. And it's, it's unfortunate if you're in the white jerseys here today. But Jacksonville just came out and all things are clicking. And sometimes you just have to understand that that's just the nature of the game, right?
And forgive me, actually, they've had 10 offensive possessions, and they've scored touchdowns on 7 of them. 70% for touchdowns here this afternoon. And you hit the nail on the head. I mean, it's one of those things, you just throw your hands up sometimes, and you're like, well, that's the way the cookie crumbles, I guess.
Learn from it what you can, go back to the drawing board, and you always got next week.
4 turnovers by Carolina certainly helped the Jacksonville offense a little bit, but that passing attack that we've seen here today, as we mentioned, Tim Hackett, our good friend in the chat here, saying that this is vintage Marcus Dunhill, and I could not agree with him more. Carolina with another shot at the football here on 2nd and 9. DeSantis with the grab as he gets a short gain out to the 34-yard line. Coverage of the Simulation Football League's 17th season on For the Fans continues Sunday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time with a South Division tilt between Mexico City and Houston, followed by Pickler welcoming his old team, Louisiana, to his new home across the pond in London. Bonus coverage includes Florida and St. Louis and Denver and Baltimore. It all comes your way next Sunday on For the Fans. South takes the snap on 3rd down, going to throw it far sideline. He's got Heath McDaniel Jr. and gets just enough to move the chains out to the 43-yard line with 5:05 to go.
Great first down effort by the receiver, continuing to fight through this ball game. And Eric, it is worth mentioning that we are at 49 points total in this ball game. We did hit the over 48.5 projected by Jack State.
There was much rejoicing throughout the land of fantasy betting there as we hit the over here today. It was a pick'em, so it was one of those, you're not sure who's going to come out on top, but as soon as the game started, Jacksonville just put their foot to the gas, and that was about all she wrote. Second and 7 now for Carolina as they're trying to add some points here in the final quarter to keep things respectable. South to throw. He's going to throw far sideline. Another catch there by McDaniel Jr. as he scurries out of bounds at the Jacksonville 45-yard line with 4:44 frozen on the clock here in the fourth quarter. Lots of fours.
Yeah, lots of fours, and what we're going to do here is Carolina is going to continue to try to get downfield, maybe not be ultra aggressive, but I think Jacksonville is going to play a super conservative approach. They're going to try to keep everything in front of them on all levels of the field, as they just don't want to let anything behind them and give up a big play.
South under center, 2 backs behind him. He's going to go 7-step drop here. Guns it over the middle, diving attempt, and incomplete. He was trying to get some points on the board in a hurry, but again, this Jacksonville secondary playing very, very well against the passing attack today.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much take the running plays out of the playbook, with the deficit and the amount of time left on the clock, and Jacksonville is aware of it. They're gonna send their 4 defensive linemen, that great defensive line. They're gonna try to get to Matt South, and they're gonna let their defensive backs just sit back in a deep coverage.
South from the gun. Got a rainbow one over the middle and incomplete. He was looking for Prasad on the play, but it falls to the turf, and that brings up 3rd down. Over on the For the Fans channel, Louisiana getting the football back with 1:42 left on the clock, down by 6. An opportunity for a walk-off win here for the Revs on the road.
And that would be a huge win for the Louisiana Revolution in this season. With the cards stacked against them, going on the road and winning that ball game would do huge for their momentum.
South on 3rd down, pump fakes, gonna throw it over the middle, tipped up in the air and incomplete. Reese Prasad had an opportunity to just waltz into the end zone untouched, but couldn't quite get the hands on the football after the deflection.
Man, and it was there for him to snag that one out of the air after the deflection, but couldn't corral it. And 4 down territory, I think, for the Skyhawks. I think they're going to bring the offense out here, Eric.
Yep, got to keep the offense out on the field here and get some points on the board. South under center, 3 wideouts to work with. 7-step drop, steps up in the pocket. He's thrown, and it's incomplete. Turnover on downs, courtesy of Taekwon Hale getting in there and forcing the incompletion.
And, really 1 sack from this defensive line today of the Jacksonville Kings. But the pressure has been there all game long, and hits like that have led to errant throws and incompletions for this Skyhawks offense. And, just a nail in the coffin play made by the defensive line of the Jacksonville Kings.
And speaking of nail in the coffin, Atlanta gets a 4th down stop over in the other game of action that we're seeing here this afternoon, and they will hold on for a 30-24 victory. What a game going on For the Fans. Over here, Jacksonville has just played lights out against Carolina. Just nothing that the Skyhawks could do to really get themselves going, as Jacksonville will get a good chunk of 8 yards there on 1st down, as Brian French was injured on the play. We'll have to get a report from the sideline, see how he ends up being along the sideline there.
Yeah, they're in the offensive line. Gonna head over to the sideline, bring the backup in, next man up, get him on the field. And also, it looked like that was the backup running back that got the carry there, Eric.
Yeah, looks like 2nd team offense is in for Jacksonville. Another handoff here, and that's Allen Urban with the carry as he gets close to 1st down yardage. The one still out there on defense for Carolina as they're trying to get the football back and try and get some points on the board before the clock hits 000s.
3rd and 2 from 47 yards.
Yeah, you can't give up the fight. You got to stay out there. You can't concede, and you got to show everybody in the SFL that you're going to come out and fight every given play, even whenever the odds are against you.
Quarterback is Curtis Young. He is under center. He will throw his first pass, and that's going to be out to Urban. Good open field tackle made out there along the far sideline, and that was Chad Stinson. And I believe it was Tristan Hatley as well, making the stop, brings up a 4th down.
Yeah, and the clock's going to continue to run here, so, Jacksonville's definitely going to take their time. Maybe, wave to their moms up in the crowd. Hey, how you doing, Mom? Hey, Dad, all that good stuff. They're just going to try to eat up as much of that game clock as they can to try to give Carolina as little opportunity as allowed.
Jacksonville wanting to bleed the game clock down as much as possible.
Another good punt.
Yep, great punt there by McCoy, sliding grab, and they're going to mark him down at the 4-yard line, and that's going to be even more difficult for a Carolina Skyhawks offense that has not gotten anything going here today. Only the second punt we've seen from Jacksonville here this afternoon.
And both, questionable spot. I guess they're saying that foot didn't touch down or the ball didn't go into the end zone. I guess I guess they're not counting the body, but that was a good job by the gunner to get down there. Is both of the punts have been marked down inside the 5-yard line.
South to throw. He's going to gun it over the middle. Has his man for first down yardage.
He's been trying to get that one in there all game long. Just finally got that one over the head of the linebacker.
South again will throw, going no huddle. He's going to throw it far sideline, caught, and that's first down yardage again as Carolina continues with the no huddle offense. South again, this time going to swing it out to Logan Jack coming out of the backfield. Good speed. He stays in bounds. And actually, no, they're going to mark him out of bounds there. I guess his forearm hit the near sideline, and that will mark him down as out of bounds and will stop the clock at 2:21. South. Single back is Logan Jack, but he's going to throw, going to sling it out to Jack, and he slides down there to make the reception for a loss on the play as they continue to go no huddle here just before the 2-minute warning. South again going to sling it out to Jack. Jack trying to get his way out of the backfield, but he'll make it out to the 45-yard line. Fourth down coming up here as we hit the 2-minute warning here in Jacksonville. 42-7. It has been all Kings here today. Simulation Football League action presented by APM Music rolls on. And we welcome those of you who were watching the Atlanta Swarm and the Louisiana Revolution. The Swarm come out on top, 30-24 in a tightly contested matchup. Eric Vincent alongside Stephen Hacker, Dwayne Schindler, and Justin Reside in the stats truck for this one-sided affair here in Duval County in North Florida, as Carolina is looking to just be respectable here today and just get some points on the board before the end of the ball game.
Yeah, and that was Heath McDaniel's 12th target of this ball game. Really kind of catching fire here late in the second half. Now doubling up his receptions total, in the ball game here late in this fourth quarter, and it's just really been the trusted target of Matt South as this game has dwindled on.
Matt South will throw it over the middle into coverage and incomplete. We've seen that quite a bit here this afternoon. Jacksonville's secondary has been up to the task. Even with the second team in right now, they are still making plays out there and preventing Carolina from moving down the football field.
Yeah, just good job on the practice field all week. Frank Gooden had his team prepared. The Jacksonville coach and owner had his team prepared and had them ready for Carolina. And they came out here at home and dominated. I mean, just really put the work in, and it's showing up here on the field.
.153 frozen on the clock. Both teams with all 3 timeouts. South will take the snap. He's going to gun it over the middle. He finds Persad on the crosser. That's going to be a good chunk of 6 yards out to the Jacksonville 43-yard line, going no huddle. South again will throw in a short drop. This time goes near sideline. Tony Zoma with the catch as he scoots down the near sideline. Eventually dragged down at the 20-yard line of Jacksonville, and the Skyhawks will burn their first time out.
And it's interesting to see because you can see the elements of what Carolina was trying to do in this ball game. But, I think that Jacksonville's game plan and just the game script of this game really kind of got away from Carolina. But, as the game goes on, you've seen some things that Carolina was trying to do in this ball game that maybe could have been effective if the score hadn't have gotten away from them so early on. .90 seconds frozen on the clock, and unfortunately for Carolina,
The game has gone completely on a tilt as they face a large deficit here in the fourth quarter, staring 2-4 in the face here in week 6 of the Simulation Football League. And a good catch made by Sam Avalos. He's been targeted a couple different times here today, but I think that's his first catch on the afternoon.
Yeah, normally he's kind of a first down guy for Carolina. You'll see him in the middle taking the big hits, but able to secure targets. He's a trusty guy there in the middle. But Carolina here late in the game looking for something new, looking to get the receivers going some way. And Avalos there on the sideline, it makes a nice catch for his quarterback.
Prasad and McDaniel have been the active receivers here in this offense today with 9 and 10 catches respectively. This time they're going to find Prasad in the end zone. Touchdown Carolina. And that'll keep it at least respectable, moving it into a double-digit score.
And with just enough field there, that was the perfect time to call that post route. Just enough room between the linebackers and the safety for Prasad to find a little bit of a soft spot. And Mount South delivers a strike. And that was just a routine play, definitely something that Carolina loves to do. That's bread and butter for them.
10 catches, 77 yards, and 2 touchdown grabs for Prasad here this afternoon, as Whistle Jones comes on to add the extra point. And it is up and through, so the Skyhawks make it a 42-14 advantage in favor of the Kings. And as I mentioned, Carolina looking 2-4 in the face. Jacksonville looking to move upward to 2-4. Going to be a 2-game little mini win streak here for the Kings, as they went on a 4-game slide to start the season off.
And those slides are really tough to overcome, but when you can string together a couple of back-to-back wins, you forget about those losses and you start stringing together wins and you have a different perspective on the season.
Jacksonville able to recover the onside kick, so they'll be looking to just bleed the rest of the game clock down with 1:20 left to go here in week 6. As we mentioned, second team offense and defense are out there for Jacksonville. Quarterback is going to be Curtis Young. Little pitch play there. And that's the backup running back, Allen Urban, as he gets a loss of 1 on the play. Carolina burning their second timeout with 1:17 to go. Looking forward to week 7. Both these teams going to continue on their SFL journey. And Jacksonville will be here at home in Jacksonville against the Tulsa Desperados from Kings Lair. And the Carolina Skyhawks, trying to find them on the schedule here. We'll get to them on the next play. Another handoff there to Urban as Carolina makes the stop. And Brian French, unfortunately, will not return to action here for the Kings, as he has been ruled out with a fractured lid. Carolina going to be on the road again, this time up to Buffalo to take on the Queen City Corsairs next week.
Yeah, Queen City, definitely one of those tough teams right now, starting out the season very hot. It'll be a tough matchup for them. Urban gets to carry out left side now, going to get 2 yards, and that'll set up the 4th and 8.
Prasad. 4th and 8. Yeah, Prasad in there with the big stop, and he's been very active on defense. All the linebackers really have, and it's been a bit of a head scratcher, right? You anticipated a back and forth game, much like we saw on For the Fans between Atlanta and Louisiana, and it's just one of those things. Sometimes the ball just doesn't roll your way, as we've seen for Carolina here today.
Yeah, and sometimes you just have to take from that what you can. It can be frustrating to go back and review the game film. And a blocked punt, Eric.
Wow, that was exactly what Carolina was looking for all game long, but Jacksonville able to recover it and make a little bit of something out of it as they make it out to the Jacksonville 41-yard line. What more can I say? I'm speechless at this point.
Yeah, and like I said, sometimes it can be frustrating to go back and review the game, watch the film and stuff. But you got to learn something. You got to learn what you can from the tough losses as well as the wins. And I think there's some lessons to be learned here today for Carolina, and the same goes for Jacksonville. You got to find out how to replicate success, and I think that's going to be the task for Jacksonville next week and moving forward.
Saad with another catch there as he's able to get his feet in bounds for a short gain of 3. That'll stop the clock at 20 seconds. Doesn't get it any easier for either of these teams, as Tulsa has been shown to be formidable this season, and Queen City has had a bit of a surprise year themselves, as they've been lights out here in season 17, especially at home there in Buffalo, as Carolina completes another pass, this time to Sam Avalos, as they move the sticks out to the Jacksonville 23. Clock continues to roll. Might see one more play here before we hit triple zeros. Actually, we'll see 2 more plays as they spike the ball with 5 seconds to go.
Yeah, definitely going to look for the back of the end zone. It'll be interesting to see if they try to draw up the post, which it's a little outside of that post range. I mean, Prasad would have to make a nice run after the catch, but maybe they look for that corner route to McDaniel Jr. here at the right side, bottom top of the screen, but the formation isn't correct. They got twins down here to the bottom, Eric.
Coverage is staying back here, not pressing really hardly at all. And we're going to see a screen pass to Logan Jack coming out of the backfield. And that will do it here from Jacksonville. The Kings with a dominant 42-14 win here at home over the Carolina Skyhawks. They move to 2-4. Carolina falls to 2-4 as they both look forward to Week 7 next week in the Simulation Football League. Final game stats and highlights, Steven.
And, it's hard to look away from that 454 yards passing, but I can do it easily because I want to talk about Chad Stinson having a phenomenal day from the linebacking spot of the Carolina Skyhawks defense. 3 tackles for loss, 13 total tackles on the day for this guy. Having a phenomenal game, and just from watching him, I mean, he had his ears pinned back. He was playing based on instinct the whole game. I mean, it was really fun to watch, to see a linebacker just having fun, letting it loose and making big plays. But my player of the game, Eric, hands down, you know who it's going to be for me. It's going to be Greg Gaines. 5 tackles, 1 forced fumble and the fumble recovery, 4 pass deflections, and an interception. A couple of big hits to go along with it. I mean, this guy just absolutely showed up and made the difference for this Jacksonville Kings defense, keeping Carolina's offense at bay all game long.
And, I got to agree with you. Being a defensive guy myself, I would love to give it to Greg Gaines. That would be my player of the game. Looking at how usually the player of the game is assigned, it's probably going to end up being Marcus Dunhill, as he threw for a ton of yards here, over 400 yards, 5 touchdowns. His QBR was through the roof. Found Grayson Willis more than enough times to give him 7,000 career yards through the air. Just an unbelievable performance by the former Season 14 MVP.
Yeah, and he's really stepped into this role, and you hit on it earlier. He stepped into this Jacksonville Kings offense and really took on a leadership role. They needed some experience on this team. I mean, their weapons on offense are their core, but I think they really needed that veteran in Marcus Dunhill to step in and show the Kings how to win.
And sure enough, Marcus Dunhill, your player of the game, 33 of 39, 453 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 144 QBR. On behalf of Stephen Hacker, Dwayne Schindler, and Justin Reside in the Stats Truck, executive producer and commissioner extraordinaire Cameron Irvine, my name is Eric Vincent. Thank you for tuning in to this presentation of the Simulation Football League. Stay tuned for the rest of Week 6 action here this afternoon and tomorrow night.